We arrive in paradise. This must be the most beautiful cricket ground I know. I cannot imagine a more lovely place for cricket, and in the distant future, when a World Cricket Tournament has to be played and a neutral ground is required, this ground may be the place chosen. These are the words from Sir Donald Bradman, the greatest cricketer of all time. The ground he is talking about is known for its prime location in the heart of a major city, its picturesque views with city and mountain backdrops, seaplanes flying overhead and cruise ships arriving to port. It's hard to beat the spot on a sunny day. So as someone who arrived to the city 6 years ago to play cricket, I was always curious to see if this ground held up to the famous quote. Even though Sir Donald played here 90 years ago, does it still hold such beauty? And where is this venue? Welcome to Brockton Oval in Vancouver, Canada.
Don Bradman is still thought of as the greatest batsman of them all.
Don Bradman stands above everyone.
All we can do is find another word for him, and that's the greatest, because he was the greatest player who's ever played cricket.
So we're just driving out to Brockton Oval, going around Stanley Park. Sir Don Bradman reckons this is the most beautiful pitch or cricket field he has ever played on. So we're just going to go explore it. But till then, we're driving through the centre of Vancouver, and it's pretty busy around here. One-way traffic system with cyclists. Everything and everyone is here today, so we're just going to try our best and not kill anyone on the way. But yeah, Brockton Oval, here we come to relive Sir Don's moments here. So we're here at Stanley Park, which is one of the biggest and major tourist attractions of Vancouver. There happens to be a cricket pitch right in the middle here because in the 1930s, cricket was one of the most popular sports in Vancouver. You can see why, because the beauty of this place is phenomenal. A couple of cruise boats behind me at this stage. There's seaplanes flying around everywhere. There's a one-way road which has cars, cyclists, pedestrians walking through at all times. So a beautiful place to be, and I can only imagine what it was like in the 1930s when Australian toured here and they had 10,000 people around the outfield watching Sir Don come out and score some runs. So I'm here assessing what it's like to bat in the middle and looking at the boundaries, what's short, what's long. The shortest boundary by far is Cow Corner, so I know where most of the viewers would be targeting. But if you were to hit a big six over Cow Corner, it's basically going to land where those two big cruise ships behind us are. An amazing place to play, amazing place to hit a six. And if we look around here, still pretty short where the pavilion is. Square of the wicket on this side. They've got some trees hanging over, so if you're an aerial hitter, perhaps you might get an easy six where it would be caught in the boundary otherwise. Big Cow Corner over this side, or third man, depending on what end you're at. And pretty long straight this end. So if you're batting at the far end, hitting this way, you're going to be looking at North Vancouver's views of the mountains. There's a bit of clouds behind us now, so you can't quite see them. But an amazing place to play cricket. So in the 1930s, it was the Great Depression, and the Australian cricket side had 51 games scheduled in all of North America. Here in Vancouver, the East Coast, in New York, Toronto, they played everywhere. 2.5 months, 51 games, Sir Don scored 18 centuries, 3,777 runs with an average of just under 103. That guy was good. So Don was known to use a golf ball and stump to practice his batting at home, so how fitting it was to grab a stump in hand and do some shadow batting. It may not result in many runs for me, but the game was about to start here, so we ended up going down to the water and asking some local tourists if they knew about cricket. What do you know about cricket?
A bit.
You're British by the sounds of it.
Well, I'm Australian now.
Australian. Do you know that Sir Donald Bradman played here in 1932?
No, I didn't. Well, isn't that interesting?
He reckons it was the most beautiful ground he ever played on.
It could well be.
Do you know anything about cricket?
Yes, we saw it. We were in India.
Have you ever heard of the great Sir Donald Bradman?
No.
But what do you know about cricket?
Nothing about cricket.
We soon realised that most people had no idea about cricket, so it was time to head back up to the pitch and take in the action. You'd hate to be a goose here, wouldn't you? So we've got Kai here who's playing in the local team. Kai, what's your experience like at Brockton Oval so far today?
Well, in terms of Brockton is one of my favourite fields here in Vancouver. It's such a lovely place scenically and one of the better fields to play at in terms of like value for your shots. But you know, it's been a tough day here today. Very tough day.
Do you know any of the history about the ground?
I know that Donald Bradman played here once.
Yeah, he scored 186 here apparently.
I would love I would love some of those runs right now.
So we've got the local umpires in the game here. What's your opinion on this ground and what's it like to be in the footsteps of where Sir Donald Bradman played one time?
As you can see, it's a beautiful ground, minus the geese, but it's a beautiful ground, and we are fortunate to have this ground for over 100 years.
After chatting to a few of the lads and supporting the teams around, it was time to head upstairs for a drink and continue supporting from the upper balcony. So as we watch cricket in front of us now, behind us is a rugby ground, and there hasn't just been historical cricket moments here, but there's also been some pretty historic rugby moments. A lot of international teams, including the All Blacks, Australia, they've toured here as well. And in the winter, it's obviously associated with rugby. There's a rugby club associated with it. And in the summer, we've got cricket. Sharp. Oh, run out, bear, run out. Wrong end. Wrong end. Classic Vancouver cricket. Love it. So I've been in Vancouver for 6 years now, and I've been very fortunate to play at this ground a few times. Pretty untraditional from the cricket that I've played back home. The outfields are really long, they're lush, the artificial pitches. It's just a different breed of cricket here, and I bet in the 30s it was probably grass, more immaculate, hundreds of people turning up to league games like this, and obviously 10,000 supposedly to the Australian game. Catch, catch. Got him. So inside Brockton Oval, and there's memorabilia around us, but this is the one publication where Sir Don states it's his favourite ground. Signed by the man himself. Let's see what it says. We arrive in paradise. Brockton Point has to be the most beautiful cricket ground I know. No doubt I'm in danger of being outlawed by the champions of lovely Adelaide Oval and other choice spots, but I can't help that. Brockton Point for me. What a legend, eh? What a legend. So we've got a photo above us, 1890, team photo. Vancouver Cricket 11. Well, there's some pasty moustaches in that. So this pavilion's got some history. I think it was built in the 20s, and in the 1980s it had a massive fire and had to be fully restored. There was also another fire in 2012. So apart from all this memorabilia, which is super historic, we're very fortunate to have it with two major fires that have happened. So very lucky to be looking at these photos right now from over 130 years ago. As our time down here comes to an end, I find myself feeling grateful for what the game has done for me. As I shadow bat dreaming of scoring hundreds like Sir Don, I realise how lucky we are to be able to still play here now. That's Stumps today here, team. Thank you very much for watching my video on Brockton Oval and Sir Don. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you soon.